Hello everyone, and welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars. It feels so good to have you here again, leaning in with us for another tender, breath-catching tale. Today, we're opening the door to a subject that always gets the heart to beat a little louder, not just love, but the way love speaks. Words that graze the skin and settle deep inside, words that build a home between two people. And for this, we're turning the spotlight on Cenk, Torun and Mahassine Merabet, because the way their hearts talk, softly, clearly, unfailingly, has become a quiet legend among those who follow them. Before we dive, take a second to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a single whisper. Your support keeps this place alive. Now, breathe in, let the butterflies rise, and allow yourself to feel. We're going in, not to gossip with claws, but to gossip with tears in the eyes, because sometimes the most powerful scandal is tenderness itself. We like to pretend love is all sparks and lightning bolts, but those are just the fireworks at the beginning. What keeps the flame steady, long after the cameras pack up and the lights fade, are the sentences that reach across the distance and hold hands for you. Cenk, Torun and Mahassine Merabet, each in their own careful way, have turned phrases into pillars. Not the grand declarations alone, but the everyday assurances, the small marvels that fall into place like stones in a path. When we remember the first I love you between them, we don't see a stage or hear a dramatic score, we feel a quiet room after a long day, the soft hush of a city at night, and one of them, at last, letting the guard down. The letters were simple, the echo was forever. It wasn't just a confession, it was a promise that fear wouldn't be the one doing the talking anymore. Think about sentences that lift you as gently as a pair of warm arms. I notice you. I understand you. You don't have to disguise what you feel when you're with me. That is how Cenk looks at Mahassine when words find them. He doesn't describe her like a trophy, he speaks of her like he's finally found the rarest calm in a noisy world, a precise note that makes the entire melody make sense. And when Mahassine answers, there's a glow in the way she chooses her syllables. She can label the goodness in him without making it sound like a fairy tale. She tells him, with that composed softness of hers, that his steadiness is her luck, that his gentleness is her courage. Once, when the city outside was restless and their calendars were thick with obligations, a sentence slipped from heart to mouth: "You are the harbor where my soul comes to rest." Listen closely to that. It's not simply romance, it's a sense of home that can fit in the palm of the hand. It says storms can rage, but the ship knows where to anchor. Promises, too, have a taste when they're spoken by people who intend to keep them. Through the brightness and the dimness, through energy and exhaustion, I will stand right here. We've all heard versions of it written into vows, but there's something about the way Cenk's gaze steadies when he pledges his closeness, and the way Mahassine answers with a touch that carries more certainty than paragraph after paragraph of speeches. These aren't lines given to impress an audience, these are ropes tightened around the heart when the wind rises. Every true love finds itself at crossroads. Schedules that don't match, pressure swarming from outside, an unexpected ache in the body or the mind, and in those moments the dictionary of their relationship doesn't open to blame, it opens to loyalty. That is the difference between a passing romance and a partnership with a spine. Their language, over and over, chooses staying. Admiration is a rare perfume that never cheapens when it's real. People are quick to praise the obvious ratings, headlines, a perfect photo. But what nourishes a love like theirs is the praise offered to the hidden muscles of character. Cenk doesn't flatter Mahassine for the lights that already shine on her. He names her quiet bravery, the way she greets adversity not with denial but with a measured smile that says I see what you are, and I am bigger. He marvels at how she can be both steel and silk in the same hour. And Mahassine, with that elegant honesty she's known for, answers by lifting up Cenk's kindness, his loyalty to the people who knew him before the applause, his patience when the world grows impatient around them. Such words do more than decorate, they build a ground where self-worth can stand taller. When the person you love sees the best in you, your own eyes begin to see it, too. We need to talk about vulnerability. That holy, shaking act of unlatching the door and saying, "Here are the things I hide." Love isn't a marvel because it makes us flawless, it's a marvel because it can hold our flaws without dropping them. When Cenk has spoken about doubt or fatigue, about the days when the face in the mirror carries more questions than answers, Mahassine doesn't rush to fix him like a broken thing. She becomes the space where he can feel what he feels without being reduced to it. And when she shares her ache, The restless nights, the fear that can follow success like a shadow, he answers with the kind of presence that says you don't have to be radiant right now for me to claim you. One of their most powerful refrains is simple: you won't have to carry this alone. There are no cameras in the room when these exchanges happen, there is only the discipline of telling the truth and the devotion of staying in the room once it's told. Grand speeches are wonderful, but the quiet chorus of small, daily phrases is where their love truly rehearses. Good morning, my heart. Eat well. Drive safe. Call me when you're done so I can hear your voice. Sleep in peace. Thank you for showing up again today. These are the miniature constellations overhead when the night is ordinary, the soft lights that make a kitchen a sanctuary and a car ride a warm refuge. It would be easy to take them for granted, but that's the secret, they never do. In their home vocabulary, routine isn't a dull drumbeat, it's proof that love can make the mundane into a place worth returning to. The most dramatic chapter isn't always the red carpet, sometimes it's the quiet couch, a blanket, a shoulder to lean on, and a sentence that arrives right on time. Authenticity gives all of this its shine. There are no theatrical tricks in the way they express themselves, their words travel in a straight line from inside to outside. When Cenk says, "Mahassine, you're the reason I greet the morning with courage," it lands as something earned, not performed. And when she answers, "Cenk, your love is the rarest treasure I've ever been trusted with," there's a hush that follows, the kind that falls when truth has crossed the room. These aren't slogans designed to trend, they're lifelines designed to hold. And because they speak this way, they make believers of us. Even the skeptics watching from the doorframe of their own doubts feel a tug at the chest and wonder if maybe, just maybe, such devotion can be true for them as well. If you listen across the seasons of their story, you hear a pattern: declarations that ignite, promises that anchor, admiration that nourishes, vulnerability that heals, and daily words that weave everything together. This is how a bond becomes something you can lean on when the earth shakes. It isn't that they don't argue or drift or feel the strain, it's that when those things arrive, they return to the sentences that built them. When a harsh headline attempts to bruise the day, they default to reminders: we know who we are, we know what we're building, and we know how to speak each other back into calm. In a world that can be loud and careless, their private vocabulary keeps them gentle and exact. It's the map they consult when the path bends. So, dear friends of Whispers of Turkish Stars, if this journey with Cenk, Torun and Mahassine Merabet stirred something in you, let it become an invitation. Think of the phrases that have lifted you from the weight of a hard afternoon, or the lines you wish someone would place on your shoulder like a cloak. Tell us in the comments which words of love have lived longest in your memory, or which ones you plan to give to someone who needs them tonight. If this story touched you, give it a like, share it with a friend who believes in tenderness, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the next heartbeat we bring to your screen. We'll be here, keeping watch over the gentler side of fame, where true connection whispers louder than any crowd. And until we meet again, hold fast to this simple truth: love, spoken honestly, kept faithfully, practiced daily, remains the strongest force we have.